Hello everyone and welcome to the 3 by the Sea Designs podcast. My name is Kim and I am part of the 3 by the Sea Designs team along with my sister Becky and my mom Dreama. We have an online Etsy shop where we sell our handmade project bags, stitch markers, and hand-dyed yarn for knitters and crocheters and all things fiber related. So welcome to episode 16. Today is Friday, September 16th, 2022, and this is episode 16 of our podcast. It has been a hot minute since I have recorded, probably 3 weeks or so. I think the last episode was our fall preview, and where we showed our new fall collection of yarn, stitch markers, project bags, all the goodies. And so it's been a little while. I have a lot to show you and a lot to talk about. So grab your project that you're working on and let's settle in. I hope that you enjoy this episode. All of our contact information is down in the description box where you can get a hold of us. You can email us, message us on Instagram. You can leave a comment here on this episode. Any of those ways will be linked below. And anything that I talk about, any shops or any patterns, anything like that will also be linked below as long as I can link them. So I have one finished object to show you. I have some shop news to talk about. I have some whips and future plans. So there is a lot in this episode. If you're new, welcome. Thanks for checking out our channel. And if you are returning, and for all of our followers and people that have subscribed, a huge thank you to you. And it's so fun being a part of the YouTube world and just having this way of, talking to you guys and sort of getting to know you all. And it's been a lot of fun. So I just wanted to say a special thank you to you for that. I'm sipping my coffee this morning out of my Union Jack flag coffee mug that I think my sister gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago. And our condolences to the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, and the country of England and all of its people. I know that it is a time of mourning, so it is very sad that we heard of her passing, and our condolences go out to all of you. So before I get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who purchased from our fall collection that we came out with a few weeks ago. It has been a whirlwind. We worked so hard to get ready for that collection, and I still feel like we weren't completely ready. But we have finally caught up on all of our orders, and unless you ordered in the last couple of days, your packages have been shipped out to you. You guys have been loving our new yarn collection and all of it, really. The project bags, they're almost gone. The stitch markers, progress keepers, everything has been so fun to see what you guys have ordered. And thank you to everyone who purchased, and a special thank you if you left a review for us on Etsy. We love reading the reviews. We read them all. So many of you leave such sweet reviews and honest reviews, and we appreciate all of it. So a special thank you to you if you have left a review for us on Etsy, because we do, that does help us as far as, being in the searches when someone searches for project bags or yarn on Etsy. So we really appreciate it. And we just love hearing your feedback. So thank you. We do have a couple of project bags left, and we have restocked some of the yarn that sold out, and I will talk about that in just a few minutes. But our update was a success. The fall collection has been so fun so far, just such a success, and we really are so, so grateful and thankful to all of you. At some point in the next couple of weeks, I would like to have our shop update. I'm looking at my calendar on Saturday the 24th, but I don't know that we'll be able to get it done in time. We're just gonna have a little mini shop update where we add in a few new things. We got some really, really beautiful clay stitch markers. We had some in the shop previously that sold out, so we've restocked. Well, we're going to be restocking those. And I'll show those to you. I'll do a cutaway and show them to you. And then since our Halloween mini set was so successful, we decided that we are going to add a couple of fall mini sets with beautiful fall colors to the shop. But I will do a separate video for that and let you know ahead of time when that's going to be. It's going to be sometime in the next 2 weeks, probably either the 24th or sometime maybe midweek that following week, the last week of September. And but I'll let you guys know ahead of time when we do that. But I will show you the progress keepers that we have, because we do have those here to show you. And then I'll do, like I said, a separate video for the mini shop update that we're going to have. As far as shop news, I will do a cutaway and show you. I was just looking at the yarn. I'll do a cutaway and show you the yarn again, just to kind of recap what we had what we have currently in the shop. And there are a few things that sold out that we're not going to be restocking because we're already in the planning stages for our Christmas collection. So, but I will show you what we have currently in the shop. Maybe I'll do that now. I'll do a cutaway, show you the yarn, and I will put up a picture of the couple of project bags that we have left in the shop, and then I will come back to you. All right, so we have our October Garden colorway. This is on the MCN base, which what we called our Coquina base. This is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And then we have it on our Sanibel base, which is 75-25. We have it in sock sets available as well. And we have it in DK. We have our Pressed Flowers colorway with all of these beautiful speckles. We have a few of Beach Hut in the shop. We dyed some extra, and this goes really well with pressed flowers. We have our Old Red Barn colorway. So gorgeous. The colors in Old Red Barn are just beautiful. And then we have Triple Berry Tart. This one's probably my favorite out of all the colorways because it's purple. We made a sock set for Triple Berry Tart with Nocturne. We have our Candy Cauldron mini set. And we have Candy Cauldron, the main colorway. And then we have all of our tonals. So we have Weathered Wood, Chrysanthemum, Berry Kiss, and Nocturne. Those were our new ones. And then our ones from the Christmas in July update, this was Enchanted, Sprig, and Lagoon. Look how pretty Lagoon and Nocturne look together. So those are the colorways that we currently have in the shop. Look at this one on mohair, it's so beautiful. All of the tonals on the mohair are so pretty. Okay, so some clay charms that are coming back in stock. This is our orange chocolate cake. These make such great progress keepers. They're really lightweight. We have carrot cake. So fun. We have a coffee cake with a little coffee bean on it. And we have our strawberry sprinkle cake coming back in stock. And then something new that we're adding. We have tea with desserts. So we have this one and this one. This one has a little apple turnover. So adorable. These are really lightweight, so they're not gonna hold on your projects. And then look, we have a coffee one with a little dessert. So cute. So these will be made into progress keepers with a clasp. And those will be added to our next update. So as you saw, there is lots of beautiful yarn still left in the shop, and the colors are, you know, they lean towards this time of year, towards fall, and they're very autumnal, but they're also, we tried to make the colorways things that you can use throughout the year. So especially over the next 6 months or so, I would say, they are sort of classic colors that aren't necessarily just specific to fall. So we're very mindful of that because we want people to be able to use these all throughout the year. And we picked some deep, rich colors, but that is currently what we have in the shop. One more thing for shop news that I wanted to quickly mention is that we have just a few Halloween countdown calendars left in the shop. They're a Stitch Marker 13-day countdown calendar. It has an amazing story that we came up with that sort of gives you clues to the Halloween mystery that is happening in the story. It's not a knit-along or anything, but there is a Halloween mystery sock set that goes with it that we put it up and it sold out, but we're thinking about adding a few more to the shop. So I will finalize those plans with Becky and my mom later today, and those should be up back in the shop soon. But the calendars are there now if you want the calendar, just the calendar, or you can get the calendar and the yarn to kind of knit something with it. It is an amazing, amazing colorway. It's gonna be such a fun story that you get a clue with every day. I'll put an inspiration pic up here so you can see it. And it's just a fun way to celebrate Halloween. It's not heebie-jeebie or like horror or anything like that. It's just a fun, spooky, scary story with some beautiful stitch markers that you'll get to open every day. And if you purchase the yarn, you could knit something with it while you're figuring out this mystery with all of the clues to the story, and it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So I just wanted to mention that as well. So I think that's it for shop news. Let's move on to my one finished object. And it's something that you haven't even seen yet because I cast it on after I filmed our last episode. So, and it's for Halloween. Okay, so you guys know that we had our Candy Cauldron colorway in the shop for Halloween. This was on our Sanibel base, which is a fingering weight 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. So fun and perfect for Halloween. And we also have our mini set, and it went with our Candy Cauldron project bag, which is sold out, unfortunately. That one went pretty quickly. But we do still have a few of these left. So I thought it would be fun to make some scrappy stripy socks with these two colorways. So Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, she last year came up with this pattern where she had a bunch of leftover scrap yarns, and she decided to stripe them into a sock and also use a main color as well. So this is them all finished. I cast these on, I don't know, not too long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I used our main colorway Candy Cauldron and then the Candy Cauldron mini set. So what she does is that she doesn't have like a paid pattern for this. She just kind of designed it and shared it with everyone. So she stripes, I think she does 8 rounds, which is what I did for each stripe. And these could really be however you want them to be. They don't have to necessarily be all of these colors going all the way down the foot. But she does her stripes in 8 rounds on the leg, and then on the foot part she does 4 rounds. So I went ahead and followed her pattern. I did modify what she does slightly in that I did my well, it's not my toe, but I did the umbrella toe by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears that I love doing. I did do the heel flap, the slip stitch heel flap and gusset. And for the cuff, I did a 2x2 ribbing. Now the cuff, let's see if I can show you what I did with the cuff. And I'm trying to remember why I did this. I think I wanted the cuff, you know, when you're looking at it, it just looks like a regular 2x2 ribbing cuff. But every 4, I think I did 20 rounds for the cuff. And every 4 rounds, I did just a regular knit row instead of doing a 2x2 ribbing. And it gave it sort of a little bit extra, like if you look really close, you can kind of see it. It just gave it a little bit of an extra, I don't even know what the word is for it. It looks a little bit different than a regular cuff. And like I said, I think because the whole thing is just plain stockinette, I wanted the cuff to have a little bit of something different. So that was the only thing really different that I did. I did not weave in the ends as I go, which I usually do when I'm doing something scrappy. I usually weave in the ends as I go, but I started to do that and then it just, I don't know why I didn't. So at the end I had a bunch of ends to weave in, which was fine. I don't mind weaving in the ends, but I just really liked how they turned out. I thought they were fun and festive and perfect for Halloween. And it really showcased this yarn very, very well, I think. All of the speckles in this colorway are pretty well defined. And it has the orange in it is a tonal orange, like that base color is very tonal, meaning that it has lighter and darker shades of the orange. And then there's green and purple and pink and orange speckles in that color. So that is my one finished object, the Candy Cauldron Scrappy Stripy Socks. And Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady is actually hosting a knit along that it started, I think, yesterday, where she purchased these 2 yarns, and she is going to make scrappy stripy socks with these colors. So we were so excited when her order came in, because we were like, oh, it's going to be so fun to see her knit these. And I'm so curious to see like how she does her stripes. And that's kind of the cool thing about having the mini set, is that you can make it your own. You don't even have to use this for socks. You could make so many cool things. We have one customer who's making a hat. We have someone said that they were going to make a cowl with this. So there's so many different options that you can do. Oh, and someone else is doing a Halloween gnome for her October gnome. So it's going to be so fun to see what everyone makes with their Candy Cauldron colorways. So I just really love how they turned out. And if you are interested in making scrappy stripy socks, go over to the Crazy Sock Ladies Instagram and check out all of the information about the knit along. So I already have plans for another scrappy stripy sock that I'm actually going to make another pair of Halloween socks, because I just think they're so fun. And I'll talk more about that later when I talk about my future plans, because I have a bunch of Halloween colored yarn that I want to make another pair with. They're just so fun, and they knit up so fast because of the stripes, and they're just a lot of fun. So that is my one finished object. I do have quite a few whips. I'm only going to show a few of them because some of them are lingering, and I thought maybe next time I'll show you some of my long-term whips that I have been working on that I'm sort of bringing out of hibernation, one of them especially that I started back in February. So, but I will talk more about those on the next podcast. Okay, so let's move on to whips. I have this whip in our, I think we called it like vintage VW something. This was in our shop update over the summer, and this is our large size project bag. So fun. My mom was so sweet to make an extra one for me. And this is my Glacial Light Tea by Caitlin Hunter. I was really hoping to have this finished by the time I podcast again, but, or you know, did another episode. But because of our shop update, it's been a little crazy and busy, so I don't have it finished, but I have made quite a bit of progress. So last time you saw this, I talked about it a lot on the last episode. I'm using Emma's yarn. All the colors are Emma's yarn. And if you want to see more detail on it, go back and watch the last episode, which would have been 15. So the last time you saw it, I was either almost finished with the last stripe, or I was finished with the last stripe. I don't think I was quite done with this last stripe. But this is the Glacial Light Tea by Caitlin Hunter. It's knit bottom up, so you start with these stripes, and it's basically all lace work. Which was really, really fun and surprisingly relaxing to do. I don't know that I was able to fully memorize this pattern because of how much detail there is in it, but I would say it was somewhat memorizable, as far as I would only have to look at the pattern once for that row, and then I could remember what to do for each one. I will say having stitch markers on every repeat was extremely, extremely helpful. So I would highly recommend, if you knit this, to put the stitch markers, just the little rings for each section, put a stitch marker so you can remember your repeat, or where you're at in the repeat, because if you lose your place and you have to go all the way back to the beginning, that was really frustrating at first. And then I added the rings and it was super easy. So I have added the top part, and I've split the panels. So I'm working on the back panel right now. This is actually the back. And I am working on that. I think I have to do quite a few more inches, probably, let's see. I think maybe 6 inches from here for the back panel, and then I'll go to the front panel and do the same length, I believe, and then I can seam them together at the top and then work on whatever sleeve I'm gonna do for this. It's a tee, so it's meant to be short sleeves, and I am gonna make it short sleeves. But I don't know how long the sleeves are, because you guys know I like a longer sleeve, but I'm not sure. If I want it, I might just make it just the way the pattern calls for. I don't know yet. But I love this teal color that got added at the top. At first I was like, oh, it's such a stark contrast to these colors, but there's a lot of that teal color in the sort of speckled colorway. Let's see if I can hold it up and get some detail. So I decided that I like it. I'm gonna keep going with it, but it was at first like, whoa, that's such a huge contrast in color. But overall, it looks really pretty, especially when I'm holding it up on the camera and seeing it in the camera. I really like that color at the top. And it's showing up pretty true to color. Sometimes these blues are hard to get, and these aqua colors, but so that's where I'm at with that. Just working on the back panel, and it's basically just straight knitting at this point, knitting and purling to make that panel. And I don't think there's any more detail that goes into it other than the knitting and seaming the top and then doing your sleeves, which is probably just some ribbing as well. So I haven't modified it at all so far. I was gonna do an extra stripe, but I decided not to because it's long enough as it is. And I'm really happy with it. So that's where I'm at with that. This is the yarn that I am currently, this is the color that I'm currently using. And I think it's called Tealicious. And this is all Emma's yarn. And like I said, if you want to go back and watch episode 15, I talked a lot about it in pretty good detail. The next WIP I have to show you is one that I started in July. And it was using yarn from our Christmas in July colorway. And it's a Christmas, it's a cowl. So I have it in this adorable Christmas project bag that we had in the shop last Christmas. And it's one of our drawstrings. This is our medium drawstring. So cute. Love the print. And it is the Felis Cowl by Doodle Designs. And I'm using our Visit from St. Nick colorway that we had in the shop for our Christmas in July event that we did. And I have made, dropping things. I have made some progress on this. I didn't show it, I think I showed it a couple of episodes ago. So this is where I'm at so far. And this is one that you're gonna knit flat, and then I'm assuming it seams together at the end. Sometimes, most of the time, cowls are knit in the round, but this one was knit flat. I'll put a picture up of it here of what it looks like finished from the pattern. And I really love how it showcases the Visit from St. Nick colorway. I have a little progress keeper on there that is, well, Santa getting stuck in the chimney. So what can I say about this? I'm probably about halfway done. I looked at the pattern, excuse me, I looked at the pattern, the construction of it, and I want to say this part here gets seamed, and it will go something like this. I don't really remember exactly how it goes, but it looks really pretty once it's all finished. And I'm enjoying it. I'm just working on it, you know, when I get some time and I want to have a little bit of a change. It'll definitely be done by Christmas and ready for me to wear for the holiday season. And I just, like I said, I think this pattern really showcases this yarn well. So that's the Felis Cowl. My next whip is something that I have made before, actually. Let me grab the one that I made last year. So last Halloween, I made the zigzag scarf by Christy Cam. And this is what it looks like. I don't think I ever got to show this. I think I posted a picture of it on our Instagram page, but I never got to really like talk about it much anyway. So the zigzag scarf, I believe it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm almost positive it's a free pattern. And I used a mini set that I had gotten from a dyer who no longer dyes yarn, but her name is Amber from Maker's Haven. She does have a YouTube, she does have a YouTube channel, but she has an Instagram page where she does make things, and I think she's opening up her shop again, but I don't know that she's gonna dye yarn, but she is gonna have other things that she makes. But I used, so all of the colors in here are from that mini set that I bought from her last year. Or was it the year before? I don't remember. But it was a Haunted Mansion mini set. And the way this pattern is written is you stripe 2 yarns together. So the cream colored yarn is just a bare yarn that had some sparkle in it that I had. And I striped it with the mini set that I got from her. Now, the pattern doesn't have this particular pattern the way that I striped them. I just kind of came up with that on my own. I think the pattern says to alternate the 2 colors. So you could use a solid color or a tonal with a variegated or a self-striping. That would look really cool. I think that's what she did in the pattern, was where she used maybe a bare yarn or a solid color with the self-striping, so it would look like stripes. But I just came up with this design as far as where I placed the colors for the mini set. And I love how it turned out. So that was the scarf that I made either last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure it was this time last year I was making this because it was like Haunted Mansion and I wanted it to be for fall, and it's just a really pretty scarf. You know, you can wear scarves so many different ways, and this one is actually, you know, you could just drape it over your shoulders to have something to cover up with a little bit. I really like how this one turned out, and I enjoyed making this pattern. So I thought, you know, because you know me, I have to be unconventional about things sometimes. I thought it would be fun to make the same pattern, but using only mohair. So I grabbed one of our mohairs that we have in the shop, and I started trying things with it, with this pattern. Let me show you what I did first. I wanted it to be just, what's the word I'm looking for? I just wanted it to be a pretty lacy kind of fluffy scarf. So I thought using the mohair, it would look that way. So originally, I split the skein of mohair in half because I was like, oh, if I hold it double, then, you know, it'll be a thick enough fiber to look like a, you know, a scarf. So this was it held double. And I got to this point here and I was like, I didn't like, it was too thick and I was using too small of a needle size. I think I was using a size 3 needle, and it's pretty, but I was like, it's not exactly what I was going for. I wanted it to be more open and more airy than it already was. So I ripped that out. Well, I took the needle out and I tried to rip it out, but because I was holding the mohair double, it kept getting tangled, like stuck together, because mohair sticks. Which is good when you're knitting something, but if you're trying to rip it out, it's a little difficult to rip out. So I figured I will go back and carefully frog this back into a ball when I have the time. So I just cut it and started over from scratch, and I was like, I'm not gonna hold the yarn double. I'm going to hold it single. And I'm gonna use a much bigger needle size. So I'm using a size 6. So I went up from a 3 to a 6, which is a 4 millimeter. So I'm holding the mohair single instead of double. And with the much bigger needle size, not only is the scarf bigger, like in width, but it's much more open and airy, which is exactly the look that I was going for. So I really like how it's knitting up. You know, it's not as dense as this one, obviously. This was a fingering weight yarn. But I think this is, ooh, dropping things. I think when it's all done, it's gonna make, good grief. But when it's all done, it's gonna be such a just soft, like squishy scarf that I can use. Very lightweight and dainty looking, almost like you could use it as a cover up, like a little just cover if you're wearing, you know, something like a spaghetti strap or like, you know, something sleeveless. This would be a nice cover to have. And I just think it would be a really pretty scarf. And this mohair is so soft. This is our Super Kid mohair that we have in the shop. This colorway is called Berry Kiss. And I love that pink color. Just beautiful, sort of dusty, rosy pink color. So that is what I'm currently working on with that. It's going a lot faster too, since I'm using the bigger needle, and because I thought, oh, I'm holding it double, it's gonna go super quick. But on that smaller needle, this, like, you can see the difference. This was holding it double, which is still beautiful. I love the look of it, but it wasn't what I was going for. I was going for a much more airy, open feel, like just pure lace. And this one it is lacy, but it's much more thick of a fabric. And that wasn't what I was going for. I was going for an open, airy, lacy fabric. And even though it's lace weight with the bigger needles, it's going really fast. So I love how it's turning out. What do you guys think? Do you like working with mohair? Some people, like Becky, can't stand mohair. She says it's scratchy. And I do think that mohair has a certain feel to it. The Super Kid mohair that we have is a lot softer than regular mohair, in my opinion. And it's not scratchy on my skin at all. What else can I say about this? I think that's it. I'm just gonna knit until I don't have any more mohair left. Until this whole skein is gone, I'm just gonna knit it. I don't know if it will be as long as my other one, as the one I made last year, but I don't know, we'll see. And it, you know, once it's blocked out and everything, we'll see how it goes. But I just thought it was fun. It's something different, and it's fun to work with the mohair by itself. I forgot to show you the bag that I have that scarf in. This was a design that my mom came up with, like, back towards the beginning of 3 by the Sea. I think she called this, what did she call this? Steampunk Girls, maybe? And we don't have this particular sock size bag anymore. Our sock size bag, the dimensions have changed on it. But she's thinking about designing some more steampunk girl bags. So let me know if you guys would be interested in having some of these in the shop. It wouldn't look like this, as far as, like, the fabric would probably be different, the contrast fabric. But she has some of this fabric, and she's thinking about making some for the shop. So I just love it. And it's the perfect size for this mohair project. All right, so my last whip is something that I started a couple of days ago, and I have it in this cute fall pumpkin small project bag. We had this bag, something similar to it with this fabric, in the shop a couple of years ago. And this is actually kind of an exciting project because I have been, okay, so last year I started just coming up with my own designs for socks, I made a couple of cowls, because I made everyone for Christmas last year, I made them a cowl, and I was kind of running out of, like, cowls. Not that there's not a million cowl patterns out there, but I was kind of running out of, like, I don't know, I just wanted to come up with my own design for a cowl. So I came up with a few designs last year and gifted them to friends and family, and some sock patterns that I never published or anything, but so I've been kind of designing things for myself and for, you know, like I said, for gifts for a while. And I never really thought they were good enough to publish. Probably just because I was so new, like I'd never designed anything, and I don't know, when you're new, relatively new at knitting, you don't have that confidence yet. But so long story short, I have been toying with this pattern in my head for quite a while now. And so I just finally was like, I'm gonna put it on a sock and see how it looks. So the yarn that I'm using for this is a yarn that I dyed last year. This really pretty golden color with speckles in it. And I named this color, this is not in the shop or anything, this is just one that I came up with last year when I was just, you know, still practicing and kind of just designing colorways for myself. And I named this one Uncle Lamb. I may have even shown this on the podcast in the beginning, like one of the beginning episodes. So that's Uncle Lamb, and that's a reference to Outlander. So this is actually a sport weight yarn, but it's a very light sport weight. It's more like a fingering weight. I think it's an 80-20 superwash merino nylon blend. So I came up with this design, this sock design. I'm just going to show it to you. And I thought the pattern, it reminded me of a sweater, like something that you would see in a knit sweater. Like this looks like a sleeve or something. And so I put it to a sock because the stitch pattern that I've seen before, this particular, well, one of these stitch patterns, there's actually two different stitch patterns in here. One of them I had seen before in a pattern, it's similar to like a seed stitch, sort of, but it was always knit flat. And so I was like, well, how could I convert this to knit it in the round for a sock? And so I like did some calculations and sat down and really kind of designed it, because you kind of have to go, if you're going from flat to in the round, you have to sort of do everything backwards because you're not knitting that opposite side, you're just going continuously in the round. So as I was designing that, and then I was like, well, let me flip that again and do a second type of stitch. It's so hard to explain. So there's actually two different stitch designs in this sock. And it makes it such a squishy, like the texture is so nice. It's just so comfy and cozy. And since it reminded me of a sweater, I thought it would be cute to call this my sweater weather socks. So I do not know if this will ever be a pattern out there for sale in the knitting world, but it could be, possibly. And I'm curious what your opinion is on this. I did use, because it's a sport weight and it's slightly plumper than a fingering weight yarn, I did use a size 1.5 needle instead of a US 1. So this is a US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle, and I'm knitting them magic loop. Now, the way I see this in my head is it's an 8-row repeat. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 repeats. So that's 56 rounds. So I think that's long enough for the leg. I could go one more round. Maybe I will go one more round for the leg, because my goal with these is for them to be comfy, cozy, just socks that you would wear when your feet are cold and, you know, it's a snowy day or a cold, you know, autumn day, and you just want something cozy on your feet. And so my goal is, I think this pattern is only going to be on the leg. And then it's just going to be plain stockinette on the foot. And I'll just do a slip stitch, heel, flap, and gusset. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me honestly. Do you like the pattern? Do you not like the pattern? It's not complicated at all. It was easy for me to memorize it. So I don't know, there's a lot of texture to it. A lot of texture to it. But that makes it so squishy and just like a comfy pair of socks. So that's why I was thinking, because there's so much texture on the leg, I will just do a plain foot. I don't know. So tell me what you guys think, honestly. I think the color is perfect for fall. These are going to be my entry for the Falling Leaves sock knit along that Denise from Earth Tones Girl is hosting. Come on, focus. There we go. Because that knit along started yesterday or the day before, and you just have to use fall-ish colored yarn. Really, she just wants everybody to knit socks for the next couple of months. This is her favorite time of year, and it's such a fun knit along to be a part of. So we'll see what happens with this sock pattern. I don't know. I'm liking it so far, but I don't, you know, I've never published a pattern before, so I don't know. So just let me know what you guys think and be honest, please. So that's it for whips. Stay tuned for more with those socks. Hopefully they will turn into something pretty. And if I don't ever put the pattern out there, then I'll at least have a nice comfy pair of socks, you know, because it's so cold here in Florida. I need those comfy, cozy socks, right? But it does get cold enough, and my house has hardwood floors, so it gets really cold in the winter time here. So I will definitely wear them. But I'm going to show you some future plans I have and a couple of things I got in the mail. So I mentioned earlier when I showed my scrappy stripy socks, the Candy Cauldron ones, that I was going to make another pair of scrappy stripy socks for Halloween. And actually I had plans to do a scrappy stripy socks. Well, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. So I have all of these scraps of Halloween colored yarns that I've just saved, you know, when I'm done with a project. I threw them all in here because I thought, oh, these are all like kind of Halloween colors, and I'll make something scrappy with them. So I'm either gonna make a scrappy Musselburgh hat with them, or I think I'm just gonna do another pair of truly scrappy stripy socks with these. So for Kay from the Crazy Sock Ladies Knit Along, I'm probably going to use these. I got the last colorway from Lolo Did It for the Star Wars she did a 4-month subscription for it was a Star Wars theme. And this is the color. So pretty. And this one is called Grogu, which is, if you've seen the Mandalorian Star Wars show on Disney Plus, Grogu is what everybody calls Baby Yoda, but his name is really Grogu. So I finally have all 4 colors. I was going to make my son a blanket because he loves Star Wars. And I was gonna start it as I went on, excuse me. I was gonna start it as I got the yarns, but I was like, oh, I wanna see all 4 colors together. This was the pin that came. It says use the force. This was it came with the last yarn shipment. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait until I have all 4 colors and see how they look together and then decide what blanket that I wanna make him. So I don't remember the order that they came in. I think this one was the first one. This one might have been the second one. And then the third one, I don't even know if I ever showed all of them. I know I showed a couple of them. And this is the 4th one. So they're all Star Wars themed colorways. This one was Grogu, like I said. This one was That's No Moon. I think I did show this one. This one is It's a Trap. And this one was called I've Got a Bad Feeling About This. So I'm thinking I need a blanket pattern. I was gonna do one, the habitation throw, and I may still do that one with these. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it as far as the striping of them, or if I'm just gonna, I don't know yet. But those are the next blanket cast on that I do for him. And I would really like to be able to give this to him for Christmas, but that is quickly approaching and blankets take forever. So I don't know, but I love them all together. And I think it's really cool that they're all Star Wars themed. So if you have any blanket ideas for these, let me know in the comments. My Yarnable box came for, I guess this was this August's? No, this is September's. This is called Laugh S'more, Worry Less. So beautiful. And the box was like a s'mores theme. Yarnable box is so fun to get every month. The marshmallow that came with mine was completely melted because, you know, Florida, but it came with this cute little bag and this dip mix. Like a s'mores themed dip mix that I think you mix with cream cheese. Yeah. So that was fun to get. And then I also got my Avery Lane Creations subscription. And I get this one. The one that I get from Yarnable is the fingering weight. It's so soft. It's an 85/15, I think. Yes, 85/15. And then I get the DK weight from Avery Lane Creations. And this one was really pretty. It's purple, my favorite color. It's called Coastal Sunset. So gorgeous. That's her label. And this one is DK. I meant to grab all the other ones that I have. Next time I podcast, I will show all the ones I've gotten from her so far, because a lot of them match as far as like I could do either a fade or I could do something really pretty with these, but I love the colors in this one. And that one came with extras as well. Came with a yarn sleeve which I love because I always, this is the maker. I always use these like yarn cozies. So a yarn sleeve, and it came with this adorable tag. It says, I burned these calories crocheting so they don't count. So that little tag, and then it came with a little progress keeper. The progress keeper is from She Inspired Designs. So those were fun extras that I got with my subscription. Something else that I have future plans for, I'm gonna make a second pair of socks for the Falling Leaves Socks Cowl. And I'm using this beautiful colorway from Marie Woolgoods. This was a gift from my boyfriend last Christmas. And I thought it would be fun for fall because the colorway, this is her logo. And the colorway is called Spooky Forest. So pretty. So I thought that would be a really pretty pair of socks. And I think that's it for future plans right now. Immediate plans anyway. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah. So what else? I think I've talked about everything that's going on right now. Don't forget that we will be adding a few things to the shop in the next couple of weeks. Like I said earlier, I will post a video here a few days at least before we update the shop, showing you what's going to be in the shop update. And it'll just be the fall mini sets as well as the progress keepers that I showed earlier. And that's it really. The only other thing we have going on is we're just getting ready for our Christmas update, which will be at the very beginning of November, that first week. And just continuing working on all of our fall collection as the orders come in. So we've been really enjoying this new endeavor that we've been on with the hand-dyed yarn. We've loved so far seeing everything that you guys have been working on. And, you know, thank you again so much for supporting our small business. And we're so thankful that we get to do this for our jobs, and we just love all of you and appreciate all of you so, so, so much. So I will see you again for the next episode, and for the mini episode where I show you what we will be adding to the shop in the next couple of weeks. So leave me a comment if you have any questions, or let me know what you think about my sock pattern that I've been working on. And I think that's it. So I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you soon. Bye. These beautiful sunflowers my daughter gave me for my birthday, which was on the 13th. And she brought this beautiful bouquet over. I just love it. Thought they were perfect for this time of year. They add so much pretty color to my studio. Love it.